Hello and welcome to Clay Jarvis Guitar. In this live stream, I want to talk to you about all 5 of the caged shapes on the guitar, the caged chord shapes. Not only about knowing them, but really how to use them. For this lesson, I'm going to use a simple chord progression that I put together. It's going to have all 3 major chords and all 3 minor chords of the key of A major. Now I'll show you how to use this same concept in other keys on the guitar. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. If you have your guitar handy, go ahead and grab it so you can follow along. If you have any questions throughout this live stream, just be sure and jump in the chat and let me know whatever questions you have, or let me know how long have you been playing guitar? Do you have any questions about just soloing and improvising? Or really, do you have any questions about the caged shapes or anything we're going to share in this video? So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to show you a slide that I built for the chord progression. And I just want to kind of go through that real quickly. It's going to be in 6/8 time. Once again, it's in the key of A major. And we'll get into the numbers here in just a moment. But for right now, it's just going to be, like I say, 6/8 time. So it's going to be 6, basically each chord gets 1 bar or 1 measure. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go ahead and go through the whole progression while I'm on the guitar. But once again, this full chord progression would just go through like it is written right here, and then you just play it over and over again. And I'll probably end up building a backing track video and doing some kind of a video, maybe a live stream, where I'm soloing or showing you how to solo over this chord progression as well. So we'll do some different things with that. But in this video, we're just going to talk about some ideas and what we can do with the different chord shapes in the caged system. So lots of different ways to play the chords, and we're going to be kind of all over the guitar and just looking at different ways to play. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring the guitar up right here in full focus, and let's go ahead and just go through that. We're going to start out right here with our open chords basically. And let's just go through this chord progression a couple of times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, B minor, 4, 5, 6, D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, back to D, then the E, which is your 5 chord. Then you start all over again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to end back on our 1 right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at a chart that I have, and basically this is going to be something I want to show you that'll kind of break down not only this chord progression in this key but in other keys as well. So it's just going to be something that I kind of put together. This is a document that I put together. It's a free PDF download that you can download. There'll be a link in the description, and this just gives you kind of a summary of it. We're going to kind of go over basically this part of it, and I'll show you in just a moment the caged chords. Or let's just go ahead and look at those right now. Let's go ahead and come all the way down here, and this is our caged position. This is kind of what things look like. So I'll show you on the guitar here in just a moment, but for now, this right here would be, if you were in a D major chord, that would be your C shape right there. A D major chord, there's your A position with your root note right there on the 5th string. D major chord, this is your G shape. Now there's another way to play the G shape with the root note on the bottom 6th string. And then there's the D major chord, there's your E shape right there, and then there's your D. So caged is what we got right there. So let's go ahead and run through this diagram right here. Kind of shows you just a little bit of a breakdown of the major scale. And I do have another video, a recent live stream that I did. I encourage you to go back and check it out. I'll leave a link in the description for it as well. And it talks about the 5 positions of the major scale. And I'm going to kind of touch on a little bit of that while we're doing this, this live stream here. But I'm going to go ahead and bring up another slide where this is something I can kind of use this snippet where I can kind of write on things for you. So we're focused on the we're focused on the A major scale. Now your 1 in A major is going to be, of course, your A, and it's going to be a major chord. So your other 2 major chords are going to be the D. I told you in the beginning we're going to do 3 major chords and 3 minor chords. And then there's your other major chords. So your 1, 4, and 5 is always going to be your major chords in any major key. It's very important to understand that. And we'll talk about some of the other keys here in a moment. But now let's look at our minor chords, which is B minor, the 2, and then C sharp minor is your 3, and then F sharp minor is going to be your 6. So we're going to look at that again, and once again on the actual chord progression that I showed you, I do have it all kind of put together where you can see the numbers. So A is your 1, 2 is your B minor, or B minor is your 2. Then it goes to your D, which is your 4. Then it goes back to your 1, which is A. Then it goes to C sharp minor, which is your 3rd. And then it goes to F sharp minor, which is your 6th. And then goes back to your 4, back to your 5, and then comes back to the 1, starts all over again. So if you notice, in the key of A major, what's missing? There's only 1 chord that's missing, and that would be this 7 chord right here, which we're not going to really get into, but it's got all 6 of your chords that are going to be in the major scale. So you can look at this from a key of G standpoint, which I'll kind of show you a little bit more here in a minute on the guitar, but you can look at it from these different keys and think about your 1, 4, 5 is your major chords, and your 2, 3, 6 is your minor chords. And there's going to be different ways to play those on the guitar fretboard depending on what position you're in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and break down this chord progression. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in each cage shape, and then I'm going to go through the whole chord progression. And with every time I do that, it's going to be, I'm going to be playing maybe some different shapes on each chord. A couple of the shapes might be repeating themselves, but for the most part we're going to kind of walk through and show you some different shapes on the on these chords. So I'm going to show you one more thing right quick before we get to the guitar, and then we're going to be kind of going through all this real quickly. But I'm going to go ahead and show you this website. And this is a really cool website. I love it, and I use it all the time. Instead of going to guitar chords, I'm going to go to guitar progressions. Now this is really cool, so check it out. I'm going to be in the key of A major, and this is going to basically talk about exactly what I just now showed you. So if I'm in the key of A major, and here's my chords, there's my A, there's my B minor, and then of course we go to the D and then back to A. Then the song or the chord progression goes to C sharp minor. Then it goes to F sharp minor, then it goes back to your D, back to your E, and then back to A. Well, if I'm in my A right there, I can run through and I can see these shapes. So this right here would be your A shape of the A major chord. This right here would be your G shape. This right here would be your E shape. You should be familiar with that bar chord with the root note right there on your bottom 6th string. And then, of course, there's your D shape. There's your C shape. And then you'd be back to your A shape. So if you were going in the order of the CAGED, which I'm going to show you on the guitar, I would say, okay, well, here's my C. Here's my A, here's my G, here's my E, here's my D, and of course I'm back to C. Now each one of these chords, each major chords, the A and the D major and the E major, those are all going to basically do the same thing with these 5 shapes. So D, it's going to start with your D shape. There's your C, there's your A, there's your G, there's your E, and you're back to D. With E, it's going to do the exact same thing. It's the only thing, it's just going to start on your E shape. So there's your E, there's your D. Now you're starting with C, and then A, and then G, and then back to E. So that's why that's really cool. Now let's take a look at the minor chords. The minor chords are going to be similar, but it's just going to show you 3 positions for each one. So the B minor, we've got right there, that's basically an A shape, but it's a minor chord instead of a major chord. So there's your B minor in the A shape, and there it is in the E shape, and there it is in the D shape. So your B minor, your C sharp minor, and your F sharp minor is going to have all 3 of those positions. It's going to be basically either an E shape or a D shape or an A shape. So that's something just to kind of keep in mind. I'm going to show you how that all kind of breaks down on the guitar as we move on here. So let's go ahead and go back and jump on the guitar and let's go through this. So I'm going to walk through these CAGED shapes real quick, just in the key of A. So think of your A shape would be if you were putting your 3rd finger right here, and then your index finger would be barring the open strings. This is the best way I like to teach it and like to really look at it. If I just move all that up, now I'm in the A shape. That's my D in the A shape. There's my E. We're going to be going to the C sharp minor here in a minute. Well, that's the major. Move 1 note, and now I've got the minor. And so A shape right here. G shape is going to be right here. G is my root note right there. Or I can just play it without the root note on the bottom right there string, and I can go to here. Try that again. A little bit harder to play right there. There it is. Or you could just do these 4 strings only. So there's your G. So A, there's your G. Of course, here's your E right here. Here's your D. And it's a little bit hard to fret using that note right there. A lot of times I'll just take that note off and play like a sus 2 chord. So we got our A, G, E, D, and then what's left? Just a C. So there's our C right there. All right, so let's go ahead and break down this chord progression. And we're going to start in the C shape. So in the C shape right there, this is going to be our 1, of course our A major. Now where would be our 2? So we could play it here. That's a B minor. Or we could play it here on the D shape. There's a B minor. Okay. We're going to play our 4. You could play it here, which would be starting with this D right here on your 6th string. Or once again, you could play it like this, or you could just play it like that with the 3rd of the chord on the top. Because here's your D. All that is just the 3rd on the top of that chord. So it's whatever you want to do. But again, there's your 1. Here's your 2. Here's your 4. And then we're back to the 1. Now to go to the 6, let's do right there. There's your C sharp minor. There's your F sharp minor. And then we can go back to our D. And then we can either hit a E right here, or we can hit it right here, either way. So let's mess around with that. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Missed it that time. One more time. All right, there we go. It's a little hard to fret those chords way up high like that, so but that still gives you an idea. Obviously, if you were down here a little bit lower, these chords might be a little easier to play. But there is our C right there. That's our C shape. Now let's go all the way back here to our A shape. We talked about this already once, but let's just go through it real quickly. So 1, 2, that's your B minor. There's your A. So we've got our C and our A. What's next? Well, here's our G. We could play again with this root note, or we could just play here, or we could just play just the strings right here, the four strings. So your D, everything right here is D, G, B string, and then 5th fret, you got your pinky. So however you want to do it, I'm going to go ahead and do it probably like this. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Missed it right there. One more time here. All right, I played that E, the 5 right there. I played all strings. And of course, you could hit this note here as well. A little bit of a stretch. Or you could play the E sus2. Either way. So we've got our C, we've got our A, we've got our G. Now it's going to get a little bit more familiar right here because this is our E shape and this is our pretty standard bar chord right here based off the bottom 6 string. So here's going to be our 1 right here. We're going to play our 2 right here. We're going to play our 4. And here's back to 1. And we're going to play our 3 right there. We're going to play our 6 right there. Back to 1. I'm sorry, back to 4 to 5 and to 1. So this is going to be pretty simple, straightforward. So so C, A, G, E. All we got left now is the D. So let's go ahead and look at it. It's right here. Once again, you could try to make this stretch right here. To me, it's pretty tough. You could just play that triad. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But for the purposes of this live stream, I'm going to play a sus2 chord. Love that chord for one thing. There's your D sus2. F sus2, G sus2, and there's your A sus2. So we're going to do our 1 right here, our 2 right there, our 4 right there, and then back to our 1. Then for our C sharp minor, we could go here or we could go here. I'm sorry, right, that's wrong. We could go here or we could go here. So either way, if we go here, then our F sharp is going to be here. If we go here, then our F sharp is going to be here. So it kind of works however you want to do it. So, and of course, here's our back to our D. And then we can do our E like that if we want. So let's try it. Here we go. Sorry, missed it. One more time. There's that A chord. So there we go. We basically went through and we played all the different shapes, and you may ask, well, why that's important and what's the purpose? Well, number one would be just knowing how to get around the fretboard. So if you had another guitar player, and let's say they were, say you had an acoustic player, you were in a band and that acoustic player was playing down here, then you might want to be, instead of playing in the same position they're in, you might want to be up into this position. So just to kind of give a little bit of a different sound and basically not be playing over each other, and just to add a little bit more to the music. But the whole idea is really just being able to get around the fretboard. And another thing that this really teaches you is it teaches you more about triads. Triads are very, very, very important. And so obviously there's triads with all of these shapes. So once again, you got triads all in there. Right there. Talked about that triad. So all kinds of different ways that you can play different shapes, to play different triads, to play just different, kind of a different feel, but also to keep your left hand kind of in kind of a position wherever it's at, instead of having to just move all around, instead of going from this A right here to this B minor way up here to this E or D right up here, and then back down to this G, because that's all the bar chords you know. Then that one, and then, somewhere else on the F sharp minor. Of course, F sharp minor is pretty common right there. But it really doesn't matter, because you can just move around and you can be in different positions. And the whole idea is just to give you more ability to move around the fretboard freely, and just have the confidence to to be able to play what you want to play and not just be stuck in one position on the guitar. I think that's the best way I would explain it. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of other quick things here real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me just jump on here, and I showed you the website. What I want to do is just kind of talk about just some basics of when you're practicing, and like you're practicing a chord progression. Maybe you're just going through and practicing a song that you know, or maybe there's a song that you wrote, or maybe there's just something, basically it's a backing track that you're looking at. One of the things to really focus on is the 1, 4, and 5. So I think when you bring those minor chords in there, you're not always going to be playing songs with all 6 chords, or you may be playing songs or chord progressions with different chords, and some chords may not fit perfectly into whatever key you're in. So you may be in the key of G major, but you may have just a major chord where really normally it would be a minor chord to fit that key. So whatever it is, it's just a matter of first of all kind of figuring out where you're at, figuring out the key to the song. But what I like to do is figure out where that 1, 4, and 5 is. To me, that's one of the most important things you can do. And again, I just go back to this this diagram right here. And I love it because this just kind of breaks down. Now, this only breaks down the keys, what I kind of call the caged keys. Don't quote me on that because that's not accurate, but terminology. But for me, that's what I like to look at, because it is CAGED, and those are, to me, some of the most popular keys that I would want to play a song in, other than playing a song in E major or E flat or A flat or something like that. I kind of like to stay in these keys. But the thing about it is no matter what you're playing, whether you're playing G or A or E or whatever, think about where those 1, 4, and 5 chords are. And that's really where I would start. That's a great place to start because, ultimately, you can start learning chords in all this, learning chords using all the shapes and all that. But to really go in there and quickly figure out a song, or figure out a chord progression, or figure out kind of the position that you want to play in, knock out those 1, 4, and 5 chords first. And I think that really, is just a great place to start, just a great place to kind of get you going. So let's just really take a couple of looks here at, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 different chords. Different keys. And let's just take a look at this real quick and just see if you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So once again, you're just looking for the 1, 4, 5. So we're in the key of E right there. There's our 1. There's our 4. There's our 5. And we're back to 1. So we're in the key of E. We're going to start right here. There's our 1. And there's our 4. And there's our 5. Back to 1. So let's say we're going to start in the E chord right there. Or we're going to start up here. So let's say right there. So here's our 1, here's our 4, here's our 5. Or we could say here's our 1, here's our 4, here's our 5. And that's kind of what I like to do. I like to figure out where those 1, 4, 5 chords are in the song first, and then just kind of work from there. So key of G, of course there's our 1, C's our 4, D's our 5. Play 1, 4, 5. Play 1, 4, 5. Back to 1. We can go up here. There's our G right there in the C shape. There's our 1. We could go here. It's our 4. There's our 5. See how easy that is to move around? All right, so I've got Scott asking me, how do you use this to solo? It's a great question, Scott. Thanks for joining, and thanks for the question. Thanks for kind of hanging out. So to me, I like to use either a 7-note scale, which would be like from your major scale, or from your mode scale patterns, or of course you can use your 5-note pentatonic scales. And so I can show you on this diagram that I put together, and the easiest way would be just kind of show you this. And I'm going to go to there's a caged section where I kind of break this down, and this may or may not make any sense to you, but I'm going to show it to you anyway here. So this is your caged positions. So if you're in the key of what I'm in here would be, I don't know what key I'm in, doesn't matter. But this would be like your 7-note scales. So if I'm in the E position, then I would be playing these notes right here to solo over. So if I'm doing A, then this is kind of where I would be at on, from the 5th fret, playing the E shape of the A chord. This would be the D shape, and then this would be the C shape, and so forth, so on. So on the guitar, basically what I would do would just be play like, there's that E shape right there, the A major. Well, here's that scale. Or you could do the pentatonic scale. So that's kind of the idea there. And say on that B minor right there, you could play like a minor. You could play the A Dorian scale, which would be this. So if you just kind of listen to those notes, and then you're back to your A right there, which we're in the key of A, so. There's going back to my root note when I'm on the B. And let's say I'm in the, this would be our C position. C shape of the A chord, and this is where some of your like cool double stops come in, and that scale would be this. I'm sorry, one more time. So learning the scales within each shape is really cool. Once again, we did the E shape, we did the D shape, C shape, G shape would be here, and that scale would look like this. And all I'm doing is just using the 7-note scale. Now within that 7-note scale, there's also your pentatonic scales, and of course your blues scale and stuff like that. But I would basically try to figure out what shape I was in, what shape I was playing in, and then just figure out what scale kind of goes with that. And some of it really is just by ear, just really trying to nail down, what sounds right, and just trying to find those notes that are the target chords. So each of your chords, they have your target tones, obviously your root note, and then each chord, your major is going to be like your 1 major third, and then your 5, and then your minor is going to be your 1 minor third, and then your 5. So you can kind of play around with those target notes and kind of solo that way as well. So I do have some videos, and I actually did the live stream. When I started this one, I kind of mentioned I've got one that shows the major scale and all the 5 positions of the major scale. That's exactly what I was just showing you, would be like those 5 positions of the major scale. This is basically it. Here's your 5 positions of the pentatonic scale, which is another live stream I did, I believe a week ago or so or whatever. But if you'll check out, some of those live streams that I just did, or I've got some other videos as well that'll show you this stuff. But I do recommend that you download this PDF. It's free, and it's going to be just a link in the description. And this will give you a lot of really good information. And mostly everything I'm usually working on or talking about in my videos is solo and improvising. This particular live stream, I just wanted to kind of go through the chords and the chord shapes, but I definitely have at least one video where I'm going through these same shapes and talking about all these scales that you can play, you know, with each shape. So hopefully that helps you out. Again, this is kind of a summary of all that's in there and gives you some videos kind of to go to and stuff like that. So how long have you been playing guitar, Scott? You still there? All right. So anyway, I hope that helps you out. And anybody else that's listening, anybody got any questions at all about anything that we covered? I'm happy to answer any questions for you. Just let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this on the replay, just put questions in the comments. Let me know anything that I can answer for you or any way that I can help. Again, you know, I hope you will, like I said, be part of my community and download this free PDF. That pretty much puts you on my mailing list. And I did send out an email that was kind of an invitation to this live stream, but I also added in there, and I'll say this, that if I have a slide or some kind of, you know, something that you want, there's actually a slide that I put together, a PowerPoint slide that basically has to do with these 7-note scales, like the 5 positions, or you can call them the mode scale patterns that I'm talking about. I'm also basically doing the pentatonic scales within those. And I don't have that slide handy, or I'd show it to you, but that would be something. Actually, I do have it real quick here. Let me just grab it just real quick, and I'll show you this. And the whole point to that is if you download the free PDF, then you can also send me an email directly and just say, hey, you know, I'd like to have, you know, that PowerPoint slide, or I'd like to have that one, whatever it is you put up, you know, because I've just got different files for different things that I use. But I believe I can show you this real quick. Don't mean to be going long on this live stream, but this is pretty cool. So this is basically a slide that I put together, and I'm just going to show it to you real quick. And this is a PowerPoint, and this would be basically, think about your G major scale, your key of G, and it's going to be starting with G as your 1. And G major scale in first position, this would be the 7-note scale. This would be your G major scale, or it could be called a G Ionian mode scale pattern. And then if you take and play the notes that, you play all the notes except for the ones with the red circles, because you're leaving out basically these 2 notes, the F sharp and the C. Now you're playing a major pentatonic scale. So I think that's really helpful. It's helped me tremendously. 30 years, man. That's cool. That's really cool. So same thing here. G would be your 1. A would be your 2. That's your Dorian mode scale pattern, or you can call it your 2nd position of the G major scale. Once again, you don't play the C is your 4, and the F sharp right there is your 7 if you're in the key of G. That's a Dorian mode scale pattern. Or you can play just the G major pentatonic in 2nd position. B, same thing. G major scale, 3rd position. G major pentatonic, 3rd position. And then there's your D. And then there's your E. So those would be the 5 scales, or the 5 mode scale patterns, or positions, or whatever you want to call it. Don't matter really kind of what you call it. It's just a matter of, do you know it? Do you understand it? And so it goes right back to this whole thing right here. And what I just showed you was in the key of G. I showed you the G is your 1. That's your Ionian mode. A is your 2. That's your Dorian mode. B is your 3. That's your Phrygian mode. I skipped over because we skipped the 4 and we skipped the 7. So I went to the 5, which is your Mixolydian mode. And then I went to the 6, which is your Aeolian mode. I'm sorry, Aeolian mode right there. So hopefully that helps. You think you're the world's, you say world's worst guitar? I thought you said greatest. I'm sorry, I misread that. Oh no. Well, I'll tell you what, I've been playing well over 30 years myself, and there's so many times where I'm thinking, man, I got a long way to go. You know, so you can always be learning and you can always be getting better. Obviously this is live, so I don't have no edits and I don't have no ability to cut out the mistakes, but I'm loving these live streams, and I hope any of you watching, Scott, anybody else, that you'll continue to watch some of these live streams and really just join in on the conversation, because this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying doing these live streams, and you know, it's just, I'm learning a lot as well. So being on YouTube, man, there's so many killer guitar players. It's unbelievable. So I'm just trying to kind of do my part and share my knowledge and do everything I can to help anybody that I can help. So once again, I appreciate you guys, and be sure and subscribe to my channel, you know, like the video and stuff like that. I appreciate you just being a part of my community. But until next time, keep rocking. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video or the next